was looking to make was the thought to keeping him at least until January, because we can see how the squad gets depleted by injuries relatively quickly.
Yeah, but it's not easy to find good offers when you want. You have to manage the offers when they are there, and that was the time. So we couldn't find the right ones before. That was the right one for him. He's happy with that, and we have to do it, because what I would say, we have to maximize our resources, and then we have to be sure that the long-term future of the club is protected.
Is it possible to add to this squad now? I'm thinking there's been the link with Serge Aurier. We know that you've been in the market for a right back. Is that a possibility?
I don't see a clear option with that, because again, I will say we have to think about the future, not just the short term. Now we need to find solutions, but we have to be sure that the solutions are not just for a couple of months, it's just for the rest of the season and for the next years.
So what did the League Cup exit tell you about your squad at the moment?
I think it's a little bit unfair, because I think the second half we were much better, we have the chances, but I would say again, so you have the top two scorers of the team not available, and then you have to overload the other players, you have to demand more from the other players, and it's not easy, but we were really upset, because it was an opportunity to do well and to progress in the competition, but at the same time, you have to move forward. So the main thing is to be sure that the players available can be ready for the game against Norwich, and then we can get 3 points and then start thinking about the next one. But it will be like that, but I would say again, it's an issue now with some of the players not available, and we have to manage. That's it.
On top of that, though, has Tuesday night maybe helped decide on a plan for what you want to do in the January transfer window when it comes to strengthening it again?
No, I think that the idea it was very clear before, and the plan was very clear before, but we couldn't do it for different reasons. So when I came, we knew exactly what we were looking for. We were looking for wingers and replacements in some positions. So I can read the newspapers, I can watch the TV, but especially the local newspapers, and I know what the fans think and what they were thinking before. Then we were trying to manage things in a professional way, and at the same time bring what we needed. We could do it in some positions, we couldn't do it in another positions, and then hopefully we can be ready for the next transfer window and we can improve the squad a little bit. The competition always is good, so we will try to bring some players that they can push, and then everyone will be a little bit better.
As you say, Rafa, it has overall been a good start to the season. So just how important is Saturday in terms of getting things back on track once again?
Yeah, it's really important for us. So I said before, no, I'm quite pleased with everything, with the attitude of the players, the way that we were playing, especially at home. I think that the fans appreciate the commitment of the players, the intensity, the offensive football that we were doing. So I want to see that, but at the same time, I would say that Norwich is more dangerous than people think, because it's a good team. They promoted twice, playing well, playing good football, and they will do the same. They can make mistakes, but they can be a nightmare. So hopefully we can play at the same level and with the same intensity that we did in the last games and at home, and we can beat without conceding and not suffering a little bit.
Also neglected to mention Richarlison. Rafa, how's he as well? Is he available?
No, he's not available. He's getting better, but I would say that the two strikers, they are not available, so we have to be sure that the people around, the wingers and the defenders, if it's necessary, Rondon, so all the players that they could be there in the final third, they are capable to score goals. We have done with different players, and maybe you will ask, or maybe someone will ask about Rondon, but it's a question of time for him. So nobody can be 4 months without playing football, training at home with the COVID and all these things, and after expecting to score 3 goals in every game. So he has to improve his fitness, and he was great for us with Newcastle. He was great for us with Dalian in China, and it's just a question of time that he has to improve his fitness, and he will give us also goals, apart from the wingers, as I say, midfielders or defenders. So we need goals from anyone. It doesn't matter.
Is Rondon then doing extra work at the moment, Rafa, just to get up to speed? And what's he doing?
No, he's training really well. His commitment and his passion is there. So you can see that he's fighting in every game. But what I said before, so we have had players, and I remember talking with some of the players, and when they have the COVID, you stay at home. isolated. You train on your bike, thing like that, and it's impossible to have much fitness after 4 months. So you need some time, and he will do well.
Is he kind of going through a mini pre-season?
No, not really, because you have to play games. So we were not expecting to play him when we have Richarlison injured. So we have to throw him to the arena, and then that's it. And then he did it. I remember when he played his first game with Newcastle United was the same. So he was not fully fit, but we have to play him. So the perception from outside is, he's not fit. Yeah, we know that. We knew that. And he will be better because he's training really well.
Finally for me, Rafa, just to check, because we've got an international break coming on. Are the likes of Richarlison, calvert-lewin, even Seamus Coleman as well, are they likely to be unavailable to play international football?
No chance.
In the break?
No chance. They will not be available, almost 100% sure.
Thanks, Rafa.
Thank you.
Thanks, Vinny. We'll go to Andy Sixsmith at Premier League Productions, please.
Hiya, Rafa.
Hiya.
Just after those 2 defeats in a week, I suppose, is there a risk of overreaction from fans, media alike, after what you've just said there? It's been a pretty good start of the season for Everton.
Yeah, has been really good, and also not just the results at the end. It's just the way that we were playing, the way that we were reacting. So I think that the fans appreciate that. It's more Everton style, what we were doing. And then what we have to do is to be sure that we are ambitious, and then we continue with this style and trying to improve. I'm 100% convinced that we will continue improving, because we used to do it in all my life as a coach. The teams are improving, and then I think that they appreciate that what we are trying to do. And it's a question of to find a solution to these issues, maybe this month with the international break, that can help to recover players. And I'm sure that little by little will continue being stronger, and maybe a little bit even stronger.
When you talk about the Everton style, obviously you're a few months in now at Everton. How much closer do you believe the players are to adapting that Everton style you refer to?
I think that they did it in the first games, and the fans appreciate that. But still, it's a team that we are building. We are trying to improve a lot of things. When I say that, I'm really pleased with the attitude and so many things, but still we can improve, and still we will improve.
In terms of improvements, for you personally, do you feel like you're winning the fans over as every week passes by?
I think the fans were quite happy the first games, and we were disappointed for 9 minutes against Aston Villa and the penalty shooting in the other day. But that is part of the season, part of football, that you will have some good games, some not so good. But overall, I say that I think that they are happy. And what are they expecting? Commitment, passion, so they have that.
I know you've talked about Salman Rondon, but I just want to talk about Damari Gray as well, who's been tremendous so far, it has to be said. How much potential do you feel he has left to fulfil? Do you feel like there's plenty more besides that he needs to fulfil?
Yeah, I think he has. I said about the team that we have plenty of room for improvement, but I say about some players, and especially him, that you are asking me for him. The only issue that we have with these players now is that they are playing, some of them, too many games, too many minutes, with too much intensity. We cannot give him a rest because the others are not available. So we have to be careful with that. But in terms of his potential, he has a great potential.
Just finally from me on Norwich, I know that 5 defeats so far, but how much better a side are they than when you last saw them in the Premier League, would you say? Yeah,
I told my players today that it's a team that were promoted or has been promoted twice, doing well, playing good football, and they were relegated playing the same style. So it's just an advantage for them because they know how they want to play, and I'm sure that they will keep their style and they will try to be a little bit stronger in defense, and will be a tough game. So nobody can expect that there are easy games in the Premier League. So I think it's a good team, but obviously they are in a bad position, and maybe they will struggle a little bit with the confidence, but it will be dangerous for sure.
Thanks, Rafa. Best of luck this weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you, Andy. We'll go to Alistair McGowan at the BBC, please.
Hi, Rafa. Can you hear me okay?
Hi. Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. Great. I just wondered, with James Rodriguez now leaving, you said that financial fair play had killed you a couple of weeks ago. does that mean you'll have more funds to play with when it comes to the January transfer window? Does his departure mean you can buy players now in January?
Yeah, I think so. I had a conversation yesterday with Mr. Moshiri, and we are lucky enough to have owners that they want to spend money. So it's just to be sure that we can do it in the right way. But I think that they are very keen to spend the money and then very keen to improve the team. Then we need to find this, what I say about the kind of player that we need to find. Players that they will be okay, they will be adapted to the Premier League, but at the same time try to bring some quality that they will improve the level of the team. So that is the difficult thing to find, this balance between we want to spend money in very good players, but at the same time they have to be good players for us in England, in the Premier League, and for Everton Football Club.
Just wanted to ask you a little bit about FIFA's plans for a biennial World Cup. It's been around, and Arsene Wenger has done another interview this week with BBC, talking about how he wants to solve the chaos of the international calendar. And the European Club Association thinks that FIFA's plans is destructive. I just wondered what you thought of a biennial World Cup and maybe a international break where you might have a whole month where the players go away.
Yeah, I think it will be interesting to know exactly all the details, but my first impression with international football now is that you have too many games, and they told me the other day, nothing games. So when you play against a country that you can beat them 5-0, 10-0 or something like that, the only thing that you are doing is wasting time and risking your players traveling around the world. So for me, too many international games, and we have to be careful with that, because in the end, the clubs are paying the players and they have to perform in their leagues and after compete at the maximum level. No games that you see now, when you have to qualify for the Euros, you have to qualify for the World Cup, maybe 60% of the games means nothing because you will win already. So it's not that you have to play more games. You have to play less games and more intensive games and more competitive games.
What do you think about the idea of having a World Cup every 2 years?
If I think that we have too many international games, so you know my idea.
And just last of all, there's a game that's going to be taking place this Sunday up in the northeast, where they're going to play it without heading, just as an experiment around the whole issue of heading in football and dementia. I just wondered what you thought of that, and also there has been some guidelines this season where you've had to restrict the amount of full force headers in training. I just wondered if you could give us an idea of how that has gone in training with Everton. Yeah,
you follow the guidelines for sure, so it's not a big issue. But also I would say that the balls are different now than in the past, and the game is also different. So you play more on the floor, you play more passing games. So I think that has changed a little bit if you compare with the past. And anyway, we will follow the guidelines and we will try to play. Normally we try to play. We have a lot of exercises that we play the ball on the floor. So this is like that.
Thanks, Alistair.
Thank you.
We'll go to Steve Roberts, Radio Merseyside, please.
Thank you. Hi, Rafa.
Hi.
You spoke about Damari Gray earlier. Andros Townsend's made a really good start with the club as well. How much is his experience helping you on the field and off the field with the squad as well?
I will not say his experience helping me. I will say his experience and his behavior helping the young players around and the rest of the teammates, because he's very professional and he's training really well, but also he's competing really well. So I think it's an example of what you are looking for in a professional football player, and I think that the fans are really happy with him because he's doing well every single game, and then if you play him in the cup, or you play him even in a friendly, so he will give everything.
And finally, from me, you've used a few different centre-back combinations and systems as well so far. Will that be ongoing? Are you looking for a system that you will settle on eventually?
Yeah, to be fair, we are not changing too much the system. We play 4 at the back and we changed to 5 because we wanted to be stronger in the middle against the 2 big lads that Burnley we had. But overall, I think that we are playing a similar system, and the players, they are quite happy with that because you can see that we are doing well. So it's just to be sure that they understand the role of each player into the system and then go for that. So I think we are doing more or less the same things, and even changing the system the style of football, the way that we want to play is similar. So that is the main thing for me.
Thank you. Good luck at the weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. Finally, in the open section, we'll go to Phil Medlicott at the Press Association, please.
Oh, hi, Rafa. Can you hear
Hi,
me
Phil.
okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
First of all, I just wanted to check a couple of other names on the sort of injury list. Andre Gomez and Jean-Philippe Gbamin, they were missing in recent games. Sorry, Gomez picked up that calf problem, didn't he, last time around? I just wondered how they're doing.
He will not be available for tomorrow.
So no Gomez and Gbamin as well?
Yeah, he will not be available tomorrow.
Okay. The other things I wanted to ask about was the announcement on Wednesday about the safe standing pilot program in the Premier League and the Championship. Just wanted to get your thoughts on that, whether that seems like a good idea to you.
I think after Hillsborough, I think everybody was thinking about that was not a great idea. I don't know the plan exactly, the details. So I think we have to wait and see if it's a good idea or not. But my idea at the moment, I think, is football is okay. The fans, they feel the passion, the way that is going on now, and is more safe. But I don't know exactly which is the idea and all the details.
The final thing as well is it's been reported there could be a trial of allowing drinking back in the stands again. That's going to be at sort of League 2 and National League level. Again, I wonder what you would make of that.
I don't drink, so I cannot have an opinion about that.
Fair enough. Okay, that's great. Cheers. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Phil. We'll now move on to the newspapers section. So if the newspapers can stay on the line, please.